From Central Indiana's number one news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
And we're back with more of Fox 59 Tonight, continuing our conversation about dating, the dating game in Indianapolis, dating online, Pop the Balloon Indianapolis. Thanks to Chu Cole for coming in. We just had a good time with him talking about his adventures on Pop the Balloon Indianapolis, which you can find on YouTube, and coming to a city near you. So he really deals with the first impression. When people first meet a person, can immediately turn you off, and then you pop the balloon, and then you lose out. But sometimes you make it through the first impression, or you may fumble the first impression, but it's the second impression that really might save you. So how do you survive the second impression of meeting somebody? We're going to introduce you to a dating coach who has all of those answers. But first, we continue with Deja, who's really being our host today as we make this segment of Deep Dive with Deja. Eventually, it's going to be its own show. Deja, you killed it as a host in that first half. Mm-hmm. Now I can't wait to see what you do in the second half.
Ooh, we got to take it home.
Yes, bring it home.
We got to bring it home.
What's the superstar that you have here?
The superstar that I have with us today is dating coach Jada. Thank you for coming in with us, and thank you for showing us everything that you're about to show us and telling us what you're about to tell us. So when it comes to dating, I know that I can get really nervous, and I know that I can get really scared, and I know that I can get really paranoid about, like, oh, how do I wear my hair? How do I wear, what clothes do I wear? What can a person do first to calm those initial nerves? Like, sometimes I could be like, what do I say? What do I text? Mm-hmm. How do I, matter of fact, ChatGPT, can you come up with a response for what I'm going to say to everything? We need to win this guy. You know, and then after all of that, don't even get them. And so what can a person do to make a strong first impression when they're nervous?
Yeah.
They're nervous because they want to be accepted and loved and cared for. What can someone do?
Okay. First, thank you so much for inviting me. I feel so grateful to be here. But the answer to your question, I would say don't put so much stress on it. Like, it's going to come one way or another. And if this time it doesn't work out, there's somebody else out there for you. So don't be so stressed about it. I know that's hard to hear, but just go into it without any, worries. I don't know. I feel like people put so much pressure on, like, what am I going to wear? How do I talk? Just be yourself, because that's what matters most of all, is they want to see who you are, if that makes any sense.
Sometimes, do they want to know about the person who eats chocolate chip cookies at 12 a.m.?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because they might be doing it with you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our first date.
Exactly.
So what do you do in the event? And this happens to all of us. It happens, like CJ was saying earlier, it happens in jobs. How do you bounce back after you get rejected? And rejection is likely to come to all of us. Mm-hmm. And, it can be hard to recover from that. It can be hard to not make the next person pay for that, because that's kind of the way that sometimes, unfortunately, can work in dating is, it's paid forward to the person who is like, this isn't my debt to repay, but it's like, sorry, guy. So what can a person do when they get rejected? How can they bounce back from that?
I think, again, not setting expectations. Like, don't expect 100% that it's going to work and all that stuff. Like, go into it with an open mind, open vibe. We get rejection every single day. It could be on a job interview. It could be, just every way possible, a brand deal, or getting, just to even have a friend, being out there and making friends. That's a problem too that people go through.
Yeah.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's okay. You learn and you move forward and you see what you can build and just get better.
So maybe you can think of it as more of just like
a learning lesson.
A learning lesson, and just like a regular, normal experience. Absolutely. Versus like, you know, you can build it up in your head. You know, I can be like, is this my husband? You know, how many children do we have? You know, are we going to have 6 kids? He's like, lady, I don't know your last name. You know, like, I'm like, are we going to live here? Are we going to move to Florida? Like, what's going to happen? And so maybe reducing the expectations and just being honest about, okay, where we are right now is a first date.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's say I go on the first date.
Yep.
And maybe I say something that is not the best or I do something that's not the best. Is there any way that I can recover from that? Or is it it's just over?
Again, it's like you're putting so much stress on yourself. Okay. We're human. You know, we're going to say things that might sound a little weird or because we're nervous. You know, everybody gets nervous and that's okay. But it's just taking a step back and realizing like, hey, I'm here, I'm present. I'm just going through it. You know, I'm going through a human experience on talking with somebody. And if I say something that feels a little uncomfortable, just be like, you know what? Let me restate that for you. I didn't like the way that came out. Let me fix that. And just be open, you know, about it. Be open and honest.
Okay. So how much of that first impression, how much of it would you say is about words? Or is it more so about the way you look? Or is it kind of like a person who has like an authority, a presence, or an aura? How much would you say, like, what do you think is the most important of those things?
I would say people are so worried about, like, what do I wear? You know, do not do something that you wouldn't do on a normal basis. So if you're somebody that likes a relaxed outfit and you come in a suit and a tie, and then later on they find out that's not how you dress, well, then you just need to be you. You need to wear what you feel. You just be accepted of who you are, because if you're wanting to be somebody else, later on it's going to come out and then it's going to be uncomfortable. So you might as well just be who you are.
How do you be, and this might be a hard question to answer. How does someone be more of themselves? Like, how can you do that? What does that really look like? Because I hear people say, you know, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. But what does that mean exactly?
Okay. So, for instance, for me, I like to wear black. I like to wear something a little bit form-fitting, but not too form-fitting. So, but that's what I enjoy. That's my favorite color. And you got people that try to step out of the boundaries. They want to wear something crazy or chaotic. And it's like, but if that's not within your limits, and that's okay, just stay in your limits. Be who you are.
Okay, I'm like, oh, I think he's going to like this, you know.
You be you.
Bone straight hair. So let me do that. And so that the key is to just like, you know, like, this is who I am.
Right.
This is what you got. Because eventually it's going to come out anyway.
Right.
At some point. It's not like you can hide it forever. And so at some point it's going to come out. And so that's how we focus on being ourselves, which would, and I know we talked about this a little bit off camera a couple of days ago, which includes a form of self-love.
Absolutely.
And so how does a person implement some factors of self-love? Like, what can someone do to show that they love themselves? It could even be before the date. It doesn't have to necessarily be during the date. What can someone do to show forms of self-love to who they are?
Right. So I'm a believer, so I love God. I always start with prayer. That's a good way to start. Always doing a bubble bath if you want to help you relax, get your nerves down. Self-love is just taking care of you, whatever that way fits. Is if you need to, I don't know, get up and drink some water and, you know, just do something that you like, some tea, coffee. Just take care of you. Because if you're not ready for the date, then it won't work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel like self-love is very important.
You know, one of the things that I like to do is a little manicure.
See?
A little pedicure. Cam, is there anything that you like to do when you go on your dates? Now,
I'm gonna say, first of all,
I know, ladies, he is off limits.
I
This is a married man.
That's right.
Yes.
You still go on dates.
Yeah. Well,
with his wife.
Let's
make that
clear.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Let's keep that out there.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask a question about if I was thinking about when I was dating.
Right.
Do you, as a woman, do women want to hear if you say, tell me about yourself? I think most people start with their job.
Mm-hmm.
Do women want to hear that? I know I feel like, yes. Because you were trying to find out if I got money or, okay.
And what you like. I feel like that gives a little bit of intel into who you are.
But is that who I am by what I do?
Yes, in some capacity, sure.
What do you think?
So when I talk about dating, I say, do you have self-love and are you financially stable before you even get into a relationship? Because if you're trying to figure out how much that person makes just for the wrong reason, it's not going to work. You need to be financially stable in your own self. That way, when you're adding somebody to your life, it's just bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus, baby. Okay, you got some extra money. Let's go on a date.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on a trip. But I do think it's very important to know what your status is in your job, where you're at, what you like to do. Yes.
Well, and I say that because, so I, of course, wear many hats and have had many careers.
Mm-hmm.
And people might say, if I told them I was a school bus driver, they might be like, oh, you don't make any money. When actually, I made a lot of money at one time, higher than when I was at a TV station. I made more driving a school bus than I did at a TV station. So the TV station job is the more glamorous one.
Mm-hmm. And
so it's like, I guess on the flip side, you're asking somebody about their occupation and trying to figure out, how much money they have when you could be totally guessing it wrong. So it's like, if I told you that really doesn't tell the full story.
Right.
So how do you get somebody to understand, like, that's what I say, I'm more than that.
Right. So I think having goals, like, what are your goals in life? Okay, so you're right here. You're a bus driver. Okay, let's just say that. Well, you also do this, this, and that too. But what is your goal in 5 years? Where do you want to be? What's the money you want to be making? How are you going to get there? I think just being open about goals and where you want to be and just being honest, like, hey, by the way, I am a bus driver, but I do this, this, and that as well. Just throwing it all out there.
I've heard in some capacity that you don't marry potential. And then you also don't date potential. Because sometimes we could be like, oh, I want to be with someone.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then next thing you know, you look up, it's been 20 years.
And they're still not doing it.
Doing this.
Right.
And then doing that. So how do you keep that in perspective about someone who has a goal and who's building a major bus company and maybe their start?
So, and I feel like that's just finding out who this person is more and more, because you're not going to know on the first date.
Sure.
But having ideas on where they want to be, and honestly just letting them talk, because they're going to tell you. The more you let them talk, the more comfortable they get, the more that comes out. Yeah. So, I feel like knowing where those goals are and boundaries too is healthy.
So, you said knowing where they start. Are there any green flags that we could say, you know what, that's a good guy right there.
That's a good man, Savannah.
Yeah. But you know what, that might be it. And then on the flip side, are there any red flags which make you go, maybe I should block him?
Okay. So I would give the scenario of being out to dinner, right? You would see how he treats the waiter or waitress. If he's being, demanding, mean, rude, obviously that's a red flag. But if he's being kind and say the food comes wrong, it's how he goes about it. How is his tone? How is he acting? That's a really good judgment on just how he interacts with other people. But you could also do another date, do a double date with a friend and see how they interact with friends. Because it's already going to be an uncomfortable situation. So bring other people and see how it goes.
So when you're on this first date,
yes.
What kind of
was this?
What kind of, speaking of all of this,
she looks good, by the way.
Like green, like money.
What kind of body language can you have? Like, I go like this a lot, and they say that if you have if your hands are crossed,
you're closed off.
You're closed off. So what kind of body language does someone need to give on a first date?
Again, expectations. It's not going to go the perfect way where you're sitting still and you're doing this. Like, just you're getting to know somebody. And it's really hard. See, like, you're moving in so many different ways, just like I am. I cross here, I'll lean forward. It's just how you feel comfortable. I wouldn't put too much into it.
See, maybe that's okay. You know what? This leads me to my next thing. How do you not overthink? Because maybe I'm just...
You're not the only one.
An overthinker. And maybe
No.
I'm like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And then the next thing you know, he's like, oh.
It's everybody. Everybody overthinks. Man, women, everybody.
Yeah. So what does a person do to not overthink? Is that possible?
I don't think it's possible. I think, everybody overthinks everything. But that's because we have such unrealistic standards.
So
honestly.
I try not to, when I was dating, if I'm not going to overthink, the way to not overthink for me was to listen, because I want to know about you. So I just let you talk, and then I'm listening to see if this is a conversation. Like, it's going to naturally come if I'm interested in what you're talking about and what you do, then my next question would come naturally. And so then I guess it's also, because I could probably sit there and just let you talk because I'm listening to you.
That's the journalist in you.
Well, yeah. But then at the end, I didn't tell you anything about me. So, I don't know. Maybe that just means, well, we have to go on a second date, and then we can learn more. You can learn more about me because now I know about you, and you could go from there. That's how I would not overthink. I don't say nothing.
Well, I mean, that does make sense, but she's going to want to hear eventually something.
Correct.
From you.
But by the end, and I'm speaking from me as a man's perspective, how I will go about it is if it's about the looks, that's probably what got me in the first place.
Right.
But then I'm trying to figure out, because there are women out there who are gorgeous, and then you talk to them, it's like, actually, that's about where it ends. I don't really want to talk to this person.
Yeah.
Or you find out that they're not your type just because you're listening to them. So I think that's my thing. Like, I got to hear you, because if I've decided I like you, but now I got to see, is it just because of the look? So now let me listen and see what we got going on here.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I think that's great.
Do you need to have, speaking of liking someone, do you need to have the same things in common? Does this need to be like I think sometimes people look for like a bit of a, I'll just say Beyonce and Jay-Z thing, where one person's a musician, another person's a musician. Do you need to have those same things in common? Does it help to have those things in common? Or can you be from like totally different walks of life and it still work?
I would say it's good to definitely have things in common, but you don't have to have 100% in common. Because if there's opposites that attract, which does work in some cases, you still need something that you enjoy together. So if that's hiking, if that's going to a movie, if that's some people are into gaming, so it's just finding something that you guys connect with. If not, why else would it be going in the right way,
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything that you would recommend as a first date to go on? I know sometimes people will say, because I always kind of think of like a movie, but then some people have said that movies aren't really a good place to go because you don't actually speak to the person.
Right, absolutely.
And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's not the best idea. Is there any place that you would suggest as a better place or a better experience? Now, see, you said hiking. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not going on no hike with nobody. Like, that's like a year in. I don't want to end up on the news. That's what that sounds like to me. But is there anything else that you'd recommend?
Yeah. Okay, so I would definitely say not a movie, because you're not going to be able to talk at all. You're just going to be, enjoying the movie, which is fine. I would say do something active, like getting you out. Some women get very nervous when we're eating on what we're going to order. How are we going to eat it? Is it going to make a mess? Is it going to ruin my outfit, right?
Yes. I can't have spaghetti.
Exactly. You can't even have the food that you want.
No, I can't have a salad, because then he's going to be like, oh, she doesn't eat a salad. I can't have certain types of, I don't eat like fried chicken or a burger. I don't want to have to hold anything.
All the stuff you want to eat.
I know, all this overthinking, you know?
Exactly. So I would say if that's something that you do where you overthink, don't do it. Don't go eat. Maybe try bowling. Try an outdoor activity. It could be indoor as well. Maybe go to a Colts game. Go to a Pacer game where you're still focused on, the game itself, but you still have time to talk.
Yeah. I always thought like a good date in Indianapolis or the surrounding area is Top Golf. Or like I think they have one downtown. It's called Back Nine in downtown Indianapolis. Because to me, it's like you get the opportunity. You can play a game. You can kind of have a little chill time. There's food if you did want to eat. There's drinks, of course, if you did want to drink.
Right.
For me, that seems like a good. Now, I don't pay for it, because that seems like it might get up there. If you're paying for all those separate things, but that does seem like the bowling type of deal. Seems like it would be a good date. So you're going on this date. What can someone do to have a sort of instant boost of confidence? Like, what can I do to be like, you know what? I'm going in here. What can I do? What's a strategy that I can take with me?
Okay.
Right now, or the viewers can take with them to have that confidence when they're going on a date.
Okay. So mine is always dating or praying. Then if you have a mantra, saying that before you go in, but Blair, your favorite music, put it on. If you listen, I don't even know what people listen to.
Yeah. Well, what do you listen to?
Me? I could tell you, I don't know. I listen to a lot of things, rock and roll to hip hop. You can put whatever you would like on there. But just putting something on that makes you feel comfortable and confident all in one together.
Okay, so it's about putting some music on, maybe saying a little prayer. I certainly know that I need God to intervene on my behalf.
He's in control. He is in control.
I need a little prayer. I need a little music, and right now I need a little Cameron Riddle to take us in. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Jada, for your advice. People can reach you at datingcoachjada@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere else that anybody can come in contact
and
with?
both women and men can reach out.
Women and
That's
men.
right.
That's
yes.
smart.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely.
Just through email.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Well, didn't we learn a lot?
Oh, yes.
I think in that we only scratched the surface. There's so much more that we could talk about.
Dive deep.
And one thing you didn't really even get into is just chemistry. Because sometimes I was thinking about that when you were asking about having stuff in common. There was somebody, and I'm not going to say any names, but once upon a time, I came in contact with this person that I worked with, and we just had amazing chemistry to where it was like, we both had to say like, okay, you're dating somebody, I'm dating somebody, like this isn't that. Like, but we just like, we probably could have been because we just hit it off. There was, when you just have that chemistry, when you just mesh with the person, and then all the other stuff, like what you have in common just comes in later because you just like that person. And I think that's when opposites attract, because that's not what attracted you. It was just, no, we just liked each other. We were just cool people. Yeah. So we can get into more of that. Have to do another episode.
For sure.
Definitely.
The dating coach, Jada, the dating coach, datingcoachjada@gmail.com is where you can go and reach out to Jada. And so you too can have luck with love. Deja stuttered. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you, Cam.
We'll have to have you come back next week and we'll dive deep into another topic with Deja here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'll see you here on another night at 8 o'clock. And of course, always on Sunday mornings on the radio, on Open Lines on Hot 100.9 and 106.7 WTLC from my show, Open Lines. More Fox 59 Tonight tomorrow night at 8 o'clock right here on Fox 59 Now. I'm Cameron Riddle. Have a great night.